We just moved around the next car for disassembly. 1970 Cuda 446 barrel. It means it's a V code in the VIN. It's a A34 Super Track Pack. That means it has a Hemi 4-speed and a Super Track Pack 410 Dana rear end. It's FE5 Rally Red, white interior. This car belongs to Jim Root. Those of you who are Slipknot fans out there will recognize the name. So we made a deal, brought the car out here, and we're getting ready to start the disassembly now.
Eli, did you notice these Allen screws holding the wiper arms in?
Not until you pointed them out.
You think that's factory?
Probably not.
Probably not. They're not. They're not factory. Somebody put some real custom little screws in there to hold the wiper arms in.
So the E-body cars, arguably the most collectible ones on the planet, the 1970 Cuda, 1971 Cuda, 1970, 1971 Challenger RT models, typically speaking, very collectible. They have a soft spot in a lot of hearts. They have a special soft spot here because we've done quite a few of them. And I know we get some crap for it because why are you always working on E-bodies? What about an A-body? Well, E-bodies aren't worth any money. So when I start working on this car, especially this is an FE5 Rally Red car. So I go back to the last FE5 Rally Red car, which was Mark and Elena Daly's car, the little 70 Cuda. If memory serves right, I think Elena was surprising Mark for his 50th birthday by reaching out to me and having us restore the car that they had had for quite some time. And I think they had had some issues with some previous restoration shops. So when they made the connection with me, and this goes back to like season 3 or so of 2 or 3 of Graveyard Cars, back in the early days. This was a nice little car. What they wanted when it was completely finished was a 1970 Cuda in FE5 Rally Red with 383 automatic. Now they made some modifications to it. He wanted it a little bit lower to the ground, so we did that. The interior, we had Instrument Specialties had done the dash on it. He wanted it to be the same color FE5 Rally Red where the wood grain would go. He wanted that to be the same color as the outside of the car. So just, you know, kind of personalize it. I know that he went with the Krager wheels on it. I believe, if memory serves, with Krager wheels, VF Goodrich tires. And it was a nice little car when it was done. But I always go back to that being one of our very first cars at Graveyard Cars, so it has one of the softest spots for me. They're really wonderful people, and it was nice to be able to do that for them. And I know that today they still enjoy it and go to all the car shows. So, you know, that's a cool legacy.
Nice. I'm having a pretty special day today, taking apart one of my very favorite cars, 70 Barracuda 446 pack. Slipknot is a rock group, I think. I have never heard their music, honestly.
What kind of music do you like to do?
Oh boy, 70s, 80s rock and roll. Eli, I think, was over my shoulder all the time. Anytime I was taking anything apart, working on it, he was right there with me. And he's a natural. Great mechanic. Showed up the old man, didn't you, Eli?
Huh?
Nothing. See if we can't rock our wipers off here. Just kind of pull up on them, rock them back and forth a little bit.
Is that a strongman job, Doug?
Takes a little bit of technique. Barracuda wipers have an unusual second arm that gives them their transition across the windshield. So, yeah, almost like a peace sign, huh? Some of the shiny little screws holding the wiper arms in.
That's not factory correct?
No, sir. They're pretty, though. I like them.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right. Very nice. Look how nice the padding is in the back of this thing. This has been restored. This stuff is just like new. Yeah, I think it's been restored once. Barracuda trunk lock assembly. All in one piece. Yeah. Okay, so This car has obviously been restored one time. And since it hasn't been that many years since it was done, it's a lot easier to work on something like this because everything is still pretty fresh compared to most of the original cars that we work on, which have been sitting for, I lost track how many years. Those are hard to work on. Everything's rusted really bad. And this stuff's pretty fresh. So this is kind of nice.
That's different. Let's see the light. Okay.
Finally. Screws.
So much trouble.
Oh, the fasteners were all different sizes. Custom again.
The guys have been doing real good so far on the disassembly. I've been busy inside working on different cars, so I finally got a break where I can come out and look at the car. I feel like when somebody sends me a car to restore, if it's not a tribute car that we're building for somebody or they already know it's a tribute car, then I don't need to validate it. But I feel like it's part of my obligation to the Mopar Society to do my best to make sure that my owner, what they say to me is accurate, right? They're only repeating what was told to them when they bought the car. So in this case, this is supposed to be a numbers matching original 70 446 barrel 4-speed Super Track Pack FE5 Rally Red. I've been doing this for a long time. I've seen people play with numbers. I've seen people fake cars. It's forgery, right? But unless you really know what you're doing and looking for, it's not that hard to get away with it, especially on the e-bodies. So I'm getting ready to do some validation. I just thought maybe my friends at home might like to watch that. While it's on the ground and the hood is off, it's easy to see the last 8 digits of the vehicle identification number that are stamped into the upper cowl. That was one of the hidden numbers, quote unquote, that Chrysler said they had. They're supposed to match the title, the dash, the door, and the core support. Then I'm going to check the core support to make sure that those numbers match. If they match, that's great. I need to make sure that those panels started life on that car. So on the outside looking at it, the numbers actually match the last 8. So if you go here, B, that's the first letter right here, that's where the car was built, Hamtramck, Michigan, 1970. This is the serial number of the car, 178673. So if you go over here to the dash vehicle identification number, here you have the full vehicle identification number. B, Barracuda, S, special, meaning a Cuda, 23 two-door hardtop, V, 390 horsepower, 446 barrel engine, and now we pick up with the numbers that are in the upper cowl. 0 for 70, B for Hamtramck, 178673. That means that this tag and this cowl started life at the same time at the same place. What I need to make sure of is that the bottom of these numbers look clean, that there's no evidence anybody's re-stamped the cowl. So I do that with a mirror. And that is beautiful. Absolutely. Nobody has had that panel off. Now I turn it sideways here and I can actually see the welds, the backside of these welds that I was talking about a little bit ago. I can see the backside. This would be the kind of stuff you'd be looking for if you were trying to determine if a car had been fraudulated. I come back over to this side of the cowl and you can see the seam sealer that they put on at the factory that went on between the cowl and the upper cowl panel. It's still evident in there. That's beautiful stuff. Nobody's been here. That also tells me nobody's changed the panel and nobody's stamped the numbers. So I can validate that as an original panel. So it's great. The cowl is the original cowl. You could tell by the patina on the bottom side of it, the rust. There was no heat ring. I'm really happy that the cowl matches. Okay, so I want to take a look at the numbers in the upper tie bar or the core support. So the radiator support is the part of the car at the front that actually holds the radiator. Now these numbers were stamped in like this. So they read left to right, but they're upside down. I'm just gonna wedge this in there so I can actually get that radiator away from it. It might be really hard for everybody to see it, but it is the last 8 digits. It's Bravo 0178673. They're stamped in nicely. It's got the right amount of dent into it as a result of the number stamping, so that's perfect. So it turns out that our core support not only is the numbers matching original core support that matches vehicle identification number of the car, but it started life on there. While I'm here, I'll just look and make sure that that radiator support hasn't changed from one car to another. So I'm going to look at spot welds. And this is beautiful. Then the beautiful thing is, this baffle is spot welded to this inner fender. I look down there and I see the factory spot welds. This is not going to show up well on camera, but come on over here and I'll show you at least one. I'll show you at least one. It's great when you look around and you can see that the spot welds that hold the upper radiator support and lower radiator support to the frame rail and to the inner fenders are all original unmolested spot welds. Our unit will duplicate a spot weld, but we don't have the exact same size. So you really got to be worth your salt to know the difference between our spot welds and the factory. But that's what they pay me for. So I believe that this apron started life on this car with this radiator support and that upper cowl panel. So everything from this windshield forward started life on this car. And that's a good thing. I don't remember exactly, but I thought I was told that this is a numbers matching car, which means the vehicle identification number on the side of the block should match the car. We can't look at that yet till we get the car up in the air, but there is a pad on the top of these 440s that you can look at that have some alphanumeric codes on them that at least clue you if you're in the right area. I'll explain in a minute once I look. All right, so Doug and Eli got the 1970 Cuda 446 barrel disassembled. So what I want to do now is go on the underside of it. I've already validated that the cowl and the core support numbers match the vehicle identification number and they started life on that car. Those are good things, but there are other markers, DNA markers if you will, that will validate if that car's a real at least 440 car. And I'll explain more of that once I actually get underneath there. So we're going to start up here at the very front corner. So this right here is the piece of steel that makes up the torque box or the subframe connector. It is in place where it should be. It ties together the rocker, the cowl panel extension, and the frame rail itself. Here I'm looking at the weld. See that sporadic weld right there, but there's nothing in there? Weld, weld, weld. But when I look at it, it looks like every one I've ever worked on. They're kind of crappy welds, they're not consistent. I've come up to these and I've seen a solid bead of weld around it, all pretty. That's not right. This is right. So let's take a look at the back. These are the rear subframe connectors. In this case, all the factory stitching is in place. Terrible welds, bulky, hit and miss. Very, very factory. The other thing you see on this side and on the other side is a leaf spring hanger reinforcement. That went with all 440 cars. So if you had this,
Mark, you're wrong.
you also had these. It supported the front of the hanger to be able to handle the extra torque that would be going through the drivetrain into the rear end and twisting things around. The last one to check right over here, I expect nothing except the same. No replacement, these are factory torque boxes. Now just one last quick note is if you were working on a 70 or 71 Cuda or Challenger 426 Hemi car, if you had the Hemi option, you would also have a reinforcement plate that welded right here where the pinion snubber goes up and impacts. This doesn't have it because it's just a 440 and they didn't think it was required. But if it was a Hemi, you would have that plate right there. It's not there, that's good, it shouldn't be there. Okay, so I know that the car started life as a 446 barrel car. I know it started life as a 4-speed car. What I need to do is validate the numbers on the engine to find out if that's the original one. That's the one that worries me because of the stamps that I saw on the top of it made me think somebody's been there before.
Jim Root is lead guitarist for the group Slipknot. So I also have a 34-year-old son who just loves Slipknot, rock star, and he used to rock out to this music, and he is so envious of Eli and I being able to work on Jim's car, and I mean, he is just drooling. He wants to meet this guy so bad. Yeah.
Do you think you'll go to any Slipknot concerts with your other son?
Me?
Yes.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Do you ever listen to Slipknot?
I have never heard any of his music.
Would you like to?
Yeah.
All right, Doug.
All right.
This.
Thank you.
All you gotta do is hit play.
Hit play. Hit parade. Oh, wow. Ooh. No, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, I don't think I can do that.
No, it's not for everybody. What do you think of Slipknot, Doug?
I don't think I can do that.
So we know in our 70 Cuda that the body numbers match, the dash VIN is original, all of the torque boxes and body numbers are in place, so we feel good that it's a real live 70 V code 446 barrel Cuda. I didn't like the stamping that I saw on the top of the ID pad, so I had Doug and Eli bring the engine and transmission in. That's what we got over here. I want to take time and look at everything carefully. Clear your mind. Erase everything from your mind.
If
This was Men in Black, I'd hit you with one of those things and you'd forget everything so I could work with a clean slate.
It's pretty much how I wake up every day. Anyways.
This is a great opportunity as she's beginning to grow more and more into the role of shop manager. I'd like to acclimate her with what I find, and in real time, not after I found it, but in real time. Jim Root, Slipknot. You're young, you know, right?
It's a band.
Oh, whatever.
Right? Okay, I know Slipknot the band is a band. Like, it's a band, I've heard of it. I just don't listen to that type of music, so I don't know them. I'm sorry, okay? I already know that's not gonna go over well, but I don't know.
So this is the ID pad that I want to talk about. Okay, so I've got to try to get that orange pin
How
off.
would you determine
Look
if...
at how that comes off of there in sheets.
I don't think that someone could step in and do my dad's job. I mean, I think it would take years and years in training, but I think that it's way overwhelming for me because, I mean, it's like forensic files. You have to know all the little details, what's right to begin with, and that just gets crazy. It's different on every year, different every make of car. It gets insane, so.
Okay, first thing, you see the turquoise paint? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All 440 HPs in 1969, 70, and 71 were orange. That's a non-high performance engine. They didn't even have the decency to get the paint off of it.
Criminals.
Yep.
So at first glance on the engine, the numbers look fine to me because I don't have a trained eye like my dad does to be able to tell, you know, but just by looking at it if it's wrong or right.
Follow the trajectory. Forget the pattern. I'm going to show you big problems with the pattern. That's way too tight of a pattern. See how close the lines are together? Mm-hmm. The factory 10-inch mill was wider apart than that.
It's probably a smaller wheel.
This is a lot bigger.
Oh, bigger.
If I follow that all the way out here, it would be about a 24-inch, 18 to 24-inch mill head. They're too close together. That's number one. I know from doing these cars since I was a little kid that font is something that an aftermarket piece of crap punch set made.
Okay. So
all right. Should have a number right here. Mm-hmm. Then down here in the corner, it should say HP or HP2, high performance first shift or high performance second shift.
Well, to me, it sounds like this is probably worst case scenario for us because it sounds like we're dealing with a fraudulent engine, but it's hard to tell because my dad's just neurotic, so everything is like level 10.
It'll be obvious visually, but I'm still gonna set this.
But then when we compared it to Tony's engine, you could see clear as day how different the font was and the sizes, and all the flaws really came out.
214.214. But you can physically see how much taller these letters are. Let's raise this engine up in the air. Eye height. Oh boy. So when I see that, I'm already getting worried. What's up high doesn't make me happy. Let me look down here. So here you can see it's the July 28th, 1969 casting date. So that's right. We know that the first day of production for 1970 models was August 1st, 1969. Mm-hmm. So this part's right. They found, probably out of a 70 Chrysler New Yorker, they found a non-HP 440. That's why it was turquoise.
But if they're that intelligent, why would they mess up? You know what I mean?
It was 2001 and they didn't, nobody knew back then.
It seems crazy to me that someone would go through all the effort to create a fraudulent engine when they could put that effort into just like getting a good job and being a good employee and all that, but I don't understand people. I definitely don't understand people after working here.
When? See the turquoise?
Yeah.
Well, that looked, yeah, nice. Take a look at the 3. It's rounded on the top and rounded on the bottom. Come look at this 3.
Yeah.
See how this one has the flat flag across there and then it goes in?
So at first, it might seem overwhelming to be able to tell if an engine is correct or not, but when you start going through all the minute details, like the milling on the engine block and the size of the numbers, if all of them are the same size, because that was something that we ran into with that engine, is that one number would be really large and the next one next to it would seem quite small. So that's a red flag, and all those things add up, and if you see one red flag, keep following the trail, you'll probably find the rest.
I think somebody added the 3 and the 8. Look at that 8. The 7 and this 7 and this 1 are the right size. That one, and that one have been put in. Interesting. Little fakery. Call it fakery. So I've got to let him know somebody re-stamped the engine.
Okay.
This is one of the situations that you don't want to have to call the owner. The numbers, obviously, as I had mentioned, have been stamped in, and not even good. Not a good job. It's a bad forgery. It's a forgery. It's a bad forgery. It's the right date code, but it probably was never an HP engine. There's too much negativity around that engine for me to want to put it back in the car. The stuff that was bolted onto it, like the intake and the exhaust, I can reuse all that. The hardest part from here isn't finding a block, it's calling Jim and letting him know.
I would be scared to death to have to make that call. That would not be the call I want to make. But my dad has a way with words. He's really good at delivering really bad news to people and them taking it okay. So I hope that this goes the same way.
So I know right now I think he's touring in Europe. So I've got to leave him a message, and I'll try to have a phone call with him later this week, hopefully, to let him know what's going on. I'm hoping he doesn't go ballistic, but if he does, I'm more than happy to give him his money back for the deposit, bolt the car back together, and he could take up legal action if he wanted to. I just don't think he will. I'm willing to find an F440 HP and donate it to the cause because of my big old dumb heart. That's what I do, you know. I believe in getting the cars as close as we can to the factory. If that means I got to reach in my pocket a little bit, that's okay. It's not about the money. Call. That'd be a good job for you. Call him up and give him the bad news.
No, I don't even talk to him, no.
This is the call only the president can make. Do you know what movie that's from?
I don't know what movie that's from. So I've come to realize that my dad has no original material. I made it into my 20s thinking that my dad was really funny and that he has like all these great jokes and like I would repeat them to my friends. And then I realized like he didn't come up with it, that it was like Rush Hour or Tommy Boy or whatever movie it was. And so yeah, my dad's just recycled. It's not.
Call only a president can make. So he picks up the phone and he's talking to him and he says, yeah, it's the President JFK.
Bye, Dad.
Jack.
I just walk away. When my dad gets too crazy, the best thing to do is walk away because if he has an audience, then he's gonna perform.
Had to tell him, I need you to hold off on this. And he goes, hey, I held off on the Bay of Pigs, man. It was the worst mistake I ever made in my life. Right? But he got him to do it, and that's good. See, there was a lot of manipulation going on there. There was a lot of strategy. John Fitzgerald Kennedy avoided going to war through strategy. What'd you say? What was the question? Cuba. Hello ghouls, Mark Warman here, the Ice Tray from Graveyard Cars. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, drop a comment down below, and subscribe to our channel. We have fantastic stuff coming up, and some of it you've never seen before. I gotta go insult people. Hey Alice!